Sack Life, Beat Depression, is day 644, and we're back for more with another somatic healing session to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, as you know, first and foremost, you start this show with that powerful mental health tool of gratitude. And my gratitude going out to you guys and girls, anyone who's here supporting the cause, showing up for yourself, putting in that work, no matter what day it is, whether it's a weekend and it's party time, or it's a work day, or whatever it is, if you're going through your grind, still taking a moment to take care of yourself, give yourself a dose of self-care, of progress, of self-love, and work on moving forwards in life is so important, no matter what's happening. So I want to thank you, Mad with Hats, for being the first one in. Appreciate you out there. Appreciate you supporting the cause. And being here not only is good for you, but it's also good for me because I get support out here and I feel less alone. So thank you for being there, man. Here to kick depression in the mouthpiece. We gonna make it. Heck yeah, we are. All right, so talking about that, we talked about gratitude going out to Mad with Hats and anyone supporting. I also want you guys to think about your piece of gratitude. So whatever you're grateful for today, think about that. It'll help put you in that positive mindset. And then we're going to talk about that second mental health tool, which is the list tracking tool, that progress tracking tool. It's been 644 days of consecutive training for me, the Sack Man. How many days has it been with you? Sharing that number with the world can show other people what they're capable of. And just as a reminder, it's not just the number of days we trained, it's also the number of days of proof that we have we are stronger than the debilitating effects of depression. Shout out to Lisa the Luminary. Thanks for being here as well. Appreciate you. We just talked about gratitude, talking about that list tool right now and keeping track of your progress. And I know for Lisa, she's been here since day 300, so she's at 344 days of consecutive progress and success. That's good stuff, Lisa. Amazing. You're an inspiration out there. Almost a full year of consecutive progress. It's incredible. Thank you for being a part of this as well. Go ahead and think about your piece of gratitude. Remember to keep track of that number for your progress. And that number will only get bigger and become more and more powerful in your life the more you keep track of it. Let's see. Got a little error, a little bug happening there. All right. That being said, we covered gratitude. We covered the list tool. Shout out to Al-Farashazare. Thank you for being here as well. We're going to talk about today, we're going to practice some more elbows because elbows are great. Elbows are a ton of fun. And today we're going to practice some different technical elbows from the ones we did yesterday. As I mentioned before, probably millions of times, there's so much room for progress. There's so much room to develop new techniques and improve on old techniques that it gives us unlimited room for creative expression when we are practicing in a flow state for ourselves to de-stress, to get that somatic release. The more moves we have, the more tools we have in our arsenal, the more effective and more creative options we have when it comes to creating a routine that we enjoy. So find those things you enjoy, just like the mental health tools that work for you. There's individual skills or strikes that you might enjoy more and might be more beneficial for you to learn as well. So today we're going to talk about some more elbow strikes. Shout out to Lupine, Slayer Cam for being here. Appreciate you as well. We did our gratitude and our list tool. Keep track of that, Ken. Let us know how you're doing. 252 days. Heck yeah. It's a whole lot of progress and consistency and success. So congrats to you, brother. And remember, even if you're not consistent, even if you miss a day, your number does not go down. We don't fall off the wagon. We don't go back to zero. We just keep moving ahead and getting more and more proof of what we can do. So don't worry. Even if you missed a day, you didn't lose progress. Your number just didn't go up that day. You still have all that proof of what you're capable of right there on that track record. So please do keep track of that. That being said, let's get into the additional elbows, some new elbows today for our striking patterns. And we're going to talk about some resistance. We're going to talk about if we have a resisting opponent or we have an assailant or something like that, or if you're in competition, you're in the ring. We're going to talk about resisted elbows. We're going to talk about breaking the guard and getting that elbow strike in there and becoming effective with it. Now, just a heads up and a full disclaimer, I am not a competitive fighter. I have not competed in the ring. I've sparred a few times. I'm just lightly pressure tested out here. What I am is a martial arts enthusiast and a mental health coach. So I love Muay Thai. It's an amazing way to express yourself, to de-stress, to let out that energy on the bag or out here in the ring in a controlled, safe environment. Safe, relatively safe. So what we're practicing is martial arts theory and practice, but it's not been pressure tested by me. So I'm just letting you know that from here. We're going to talk about these resisted elbows, and we're going to talk about the clinch. Now, ideally, when we go into the clinch, we want to gain neck control, head control. We want to get that hand around the back of the head so we can torque that head down and dominate, driving those knees, driving those elbows, those strikes in from clinch position. But what if we have a resisting partner? What if we have someone with their arms out, right, in the long guard here, and we can't get in for that neck control? Well, there's two positions that we're going to wind up in. One is in the center of the chest with our hands on their chest, not able to reach the neck because their hands are on the outside of our arms. And the other one is on the outside of their arms, where their arms are in here, their arms are on our chest holding us back. So we've got two kind of guard positions to worry about when we're trying to enter that clinch. So we're going to talk about breaking those guards and then entering in with a nice elbow strike to start things up before we stay in close and go for that clinch guard. Also, shout out to New Jersey Devil. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. So let's talk about first foot position. We're in our modern balance Muay Thai stance. We're going to step in close, and we're going for that clinch. Let's say we wind up on the outside of the other person's arms, right? Their arms are out. They put their arms out to defend. And they're pressing on our chest. They're holding us back. And we wind up with our arms on the outside of their guard. What we want to do is aim for that weak point in the arm where we can break the guard, and that will allow us to come in with a nice counter elbow strike. Shout out to Speed Vic. Thank you for your support, brother, out here in Jersey. So imagine your arms are on the outside of your opponent's guard, and their arms are extended to your chest, pushing you back. If you have a bag, you can get a better feel for it with a little resistance. Pretend your arms are on their shoulders, on the outside of their guard, right? What we want to do for the first elbow strike we're going to talk about is take that hand on the side of the elbow we're about to throw, our dominant hand, and we're going to kind of hammer it back. We're going to wind it back and hammer back into the elbow joint and the soft bar, the inside of the elbow on our opponent. So if their hands are pressed against our chest and they're holding us back, when we break that elbow, what's going to happen? It's going to release that resistance on the side we're aiming for. That resistance is going to come off our chest. Our body's going to turn this way naturally. Now we want to use that dominant hand to break that guard, hit the elbow, break that guard, and as we break the guard, we're perfectly set up to rotate right on through for an elbow strike, turning on the ball of that back foot. So that's our first one to break that kind of forward armed resisted stance. We're in here, we're in our Muay Thai position. We're going to practice with arms out, pretending that we're on the outside of the guard. We're going to hammer that elbow down, hit that inside of the elbow, and then twist right on through to finish it with an elbow strike, turning through the ball of the foot, bringing that elbow up, making it nice and pointy by bringing that wrist in as close as possible. And if you want to go for the knockout, aim for the temple. The temple is where we can deliver that concussive force, be a one-hit KO if properly timed and executed. So, again, we're on the outside of that guard. Our opponent's guard is inside our arms, keeping us at bay. We're going to take that hand, the dominant hand, wherever it is. We're going to roll it back and hammer on the inside joint. Boom, dropping their guard, allowing us to come in and twist through for that first elbow strike. You can use your palm here as a form of resistance. Go for that open palm, aim with the tip of the elbow, twist right on through. Boom. That's number one elbow strike. Number two elbow strike is going to be from the inside guard. So let's say they're on the outside, holding the outside of your arms, and you're on the inside holding their chest. Now again, you're locked at a kind of a space distance here. You can't get that grip around the neck for a proper clinch. What you're going to want to do is we're going to want to turn it into a spear elbow. We're going to do a spear elbow here. So all we need to do is twist through the hips and shoulders, right? And drop that elbow down, opening up that resistance on this side. Drop that elbow down and reach for your head. We don't have to worry about coming straight up for that uppercut kind of knockout elbow here. It's just going to be kind of a stabbing, straight forwards elbow. So we're here, we're in that locked in position. If you've got the bag for resistance, it's a good tool for this one. We're in that locked in position on inside guard, their arms, visualizing their arms on the outside of ours. We're going to bend at this elbow and turn through. Whoosh, boom, whoosh, boom, whoosh, boom, whoosh, boom. Twisting through and twisting back. Simply bringing this hand back to the head and turning through the shoulders and hips. We're going to drive that elbow straight forwards like a spear into the face. of that depression dummy. So again, this time we're on the inside of that guard. We're gonna break that guard by dropping this elbow and driving it straight forwards. Boom, twisting through, boom, twisting through to meet that target. Boom, twist through the shoulders and hips, turn on the ball of that back foot, and just reach for your head. Don't worry about whipping it all the way through like that uppercut we practiced the other day. It's just a spear elbow this time. So from inside guard here, we're inside the chest. Their arms are on the outside. We're gonna drop that arm and drive it forward. Boom. Drive it forward into the face, into a spear elbow. Boom. That's inside guard break number 2. Now outside guard break number 3 is even more technical. So when we're in front of that resisting dummy, Jay Gatto, shout out to Jay, shout out to ABC0423 for joining. I appreciate that support out there. So when we're on the outside guard again, what do we want to do? We want to break that guard. We want to break that resistance. So let's say we couldn't get the clinch on the head. We're on the outside of the arms. Their arms are on the inside against our chest, or on the inside of our arms holding us back. What we're going to want to do this time, the first time we broke their guard with this hand and twisted through for a lead elbow strike. This time, what we want to do from outside guard is step over with our lead foot. Step over to the side, and we're going to now pivot and rotate on both feet, right? And as we pivot and rotate on both feet, what happens? Come all the way around for a nice spinning back elbow, spinning reverse elbow to the head, boom, and back. Now the way to do this and break their guard is as soon as you step over the foot, we're going to sink a little bit, and we're going to pull that arm down on the opposite side, right? Bringing their guard down on the side of the head we want to hit. And we're going to drive this elbow around, boom, to come in right where that open guard is in the face of that depression dummy. If you have a bag for resistance, again, a bag is a good step forwards for resistance training. Better than that would be an active resisting partner for sparring, or somebody to come over, maybe a dummy that has arms, not a human dummy, but you know what I mean, a stuffed dummy with arms. So you want to have that person kind of hold you at bay with their arms, but if you have the bag, you can use the bag as resistance here. And we're going to visualize an active opponent. We're going to step across with that front foot, and we're going to pivot on both feet, boom, coming around, see where the elbow lands, boom, right in the head of that opponent. Rotate all the way back to square, and we're back in fighting stance. Now to make that elbow effective, when we step across, as we spin, we're going to bring this hand down, bringing their guard down on that side, opening up their face for the strike. Hand comes down, rotate through, boom, and rotate back, bang. Now, this is an advanced one. It's going to be hard. It's going to be awkward, especially if you've never done it before, because we're taking a narrow stance for a moment. We're stepping across, and we're twisting through, boom, on the ball of both feet, and then we're rotating back for that strike. So, adding a power side kick after the elbow. Sure. Yeah, if you are an experienced martial artist, add as much as you can. Remember, this is your routine. This is your daily self-care routine. So if you're already fluid in these movements, feel free to add improv, increase pace, intensity, and volume of strikes. Those are all things you can moderate to your level. Whole Nine Wellness, thank you as well for being here. And yes, and we want to challenge ourselves to our skill level. As that skill level increases, we need to increase that challenge. That way we can continue to grow. We don't want to take it too easy. We'll fall into boredom. We don't want to push too hard. We'll work ourselves into more anxiety. We want to find that flow zone in between where we can have fun and improve our skills every single day. That being said, that's going to be all of our 3 technical elbows. The first one, we're going to hammer that elbow down to break the guard, twist through. The second one, we're on the inside. We're turning into a spear elbow. And the third one, we're stepping across, dropping the guard on the lead side, and twisting through for a reverse spinning elbow, bam, to the head, and rotating back. Those are 3 elbow techniques for today. We'll go at our own individual pace, aim for that flow zone, and let's punch it out. Let's do this thing. We might toss some jab crosses in between there, or we might stick technical. Either way, it's going to be 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute break to catch your breath, drink some water, make sure you're doing all right, and let's try this one. This one's really good for today. There it is. Hopefully that's coming through loud and clear. And let's do this thing. Go ahead and visualize that opponent, And we're going to visualize a resisting opponent now, right? We're going to step in and we're going for the clinch. They're going to resist by putting our arms out and stopping us. Their arms land on our chest. We're on the outside guard. We're going to take this hand, wind it back, knocking their elbow down, breaking that guard, and then twist through the hips and shoulders. Bam. Meet with resistance in that elbow strike. Rotate back to stance and square up. Let's hit them with a jab cross. Back to stance, jab cross. Back to stance. Now go for the clinch. We're locked on the outside. Hammer the elbow. Rotate through the shoulders and hips. Turning on the ball of the back foot and delivering that killer elbow right to the temple. Back to stance. Square up with that opponent. Step in for jab cross. Back to stance. Jab cross again. Back to stance. Go for the clinch. We're locked on the outside. Didn't get to the neck. We're on the outside of the arms. Roll that hand back. Hammer the elbow down. And twist through. Boom. Continue on through for that elbow strike to the head. Let's make it more fluid. Step in for jab cross. Back to stance. Step in for the clinch. We're locked. Hammer it. Rotate through for the elbow strike to the head. And back to square. Squared stance. Remember, we're using Muay Thai stance guide on sacklifeofficial.com. Step in for the jab cross. Back to stance. Jab cross. Back to stance. If you'd like to work lateral movement in there, if you're experienced, make this thing your own. Move around that visualized dummy. Step in and knock the lies right out of his face. Let's go. Back to stance. Jab cross. Back to stance. Go for the clinch. We're locked up on the outside. Roll that hand. Drop the guards. Twist through for the elbow strike. And back in. When we're twisting through for that elbow strike, we're turning on the ball of the rear foot and turning to the hip and shoulder. All the power is developing here. This is just nice and fluid. This nice and delicate, light strike from the actual arm itself. Let's do a step in for jab cross. One more time. Back to stance and go for the clinch. We're locked. Drop the guard. Rotate through. Back to stance. Go for the clinch again. Boom. We're locked. Drop that guard with the hammer fist. Twist through for that continuation elbow strike to the head. Back to stance. Jab cross. Jab cross. Go for the clinch. Locked up. Boom. Hit him. Back to stance. Jab cross. Jab cross. Go for the clinch. Locked up. Drop that guard and hit him with the elbow strike. One more time. Clinch. Locked up. Drop the guard. Roll through for the elbow strike. Back to stance. Go for the clinch. Locked up on the outside of the arms. Drop that guard. Rotate through for the elbow strike. Head center, chin tuck will help with balance. Do it again. Go for the clinch. We're locked on the outside. Drop that arm and rotate through for the elbow strike. That's the end of round one. Catch your breath, drink some water. Check in on you. Round two, we're going to start with that other elbow technique, the spear elbow to the face from an inside guard. Shout out to Brooklyn Pizza and Vale. And thanks for the shout. Keep it up from Speed of Vic out there. It feels good to explore those other elbow options. So much variety. There's so much accessible to us. Not just those basic movements, but there's a whole world of Muay Thai out there to explore. So, we got 24 seconds and we're going to pop into this next round. We're going to talk about a guard this time, not from the outside of that clinch, that attempted clinch, but from the inside. So there, our opponent's arms are going to be on the outside of ours, right, outside of our guard. We're going to be on the inside, keeping them at bay. If you've got that resistance, if you've got that bag, you practice with some weight, the weight of that bag. What we're going to do is twist through the hips and shoulders, again, and just gently raise this lead hand up to the face. It's going to turn into a spear elbow. So here we are, we're squared up with our opponent. We're going in for the clinch. We're on the inside this time, but we can't get the neck because they're holding the outside of our arms, right? They're putting resistance. Their guard's on the outside of those arms. So what we want to do is slip under that guard by dropping our lead arm and twisting through. Boom. Driving that elbow straight forward. Spear style into their head. Right into the center of that guard, right in between the eyes. Go for the nose. That's a nice sore spot. Let's visualize it. Visualize that depression dummy. We're going for the clinch. This time we're on the inside. They're stopping us on the outside. We're going to twist through from the hips and shoulders. and drive that hand forwards. Just bring this hand back to the head. You don't have to reach far back. Just angle it, boom. Let it hinge, boom. There it is, boom. Twisting through the elbows, twisting through the shoulders and hips, twisting on that rear foot, sinking just a little bit is gonna drive that elbow forwards to meet our target, right? We're squared up, we've got resistance, twist through, boom. Twist through, boom. Twist through, boom. There it is. We're just bringing the hand back to the head and we're twisting through the foot on the ball of that rear foot. The more you practice, the more balanced you become, the more power you can develop by keeping that body balanced. And that's basically it. Visualize that target. Let's step back and hit him with a couple jab crosses as we keep it fluid. Jab cross. Jab cross, chin tuck, jab cross, and let's go for the clinch on the inside. Twist through for that spear elbow. Twist back to square, back to stance. Keep it moving. Jab cross, jab cross. Go for the clinch on the inside. Twist through for the spear elbow, and back to stance. Jab cross. Let's go. 1, 2. Back for it. Start with the cross this time. We don't always have to start with the jab. Start with the cross. Add the jab and back to stance. Cross, jab, cross, jab. Let's go. Square up. Cross, jab. Back to stance. Step in for the clinch. We're on the inside. Twist through for spear elbow and rotate back. Step in for the clinch. Inside. Twist through for spear elbow and back to stance. Square it up. Step in for the clinch. We're on the chest. Twist through for spear elbow. Rotate back. Back to stance, jab cross, step in for clinch, inside, twist through for spear elbow, rotate back, and that's the end of round 2. Thank you for sticking with us. Shout out to Esmeralda for being here as well. Appreciate your support. We've got 48 seconds. We're gonna get into our final session, which is gonna be that spinning reverse back elbow right through that guard of a resisting opponent. Woo. So this one's going to be the most technical. If you have a bag, again, it's really good to practice with resistance. Nothing replaces an active sparring partner, so get out there and make friends in the martial arts community. Get yourself a sparring partner, and then you can practice these techniques in a safe, controlled environment with protective gear and get that somatic release. We've got 8 seconds, and now we're going to break down this technique. Say, body EM, thanks for being here. So we're going to work from modern balanced Muay Thai stance again. That's what this whole lesson is going through. And we're going to step in for a clinch this time. We're landing on the outside of the arms. It's not a full clinch. Our target, our goal in the clinch is to get behind the head to dominate, get that dominant position. But if we have resistance from a partner, from an active threat, we're going to put their arms out, keeping us at bay. And we're going to visualize our arms on the outside of their arms. Right? They're holding us back by the chest, our arms are on the outside of their guard. So for this one, what we want to do, this is an advanced technique. From our balanced stance, we're going to step over into a narrow stance. Step over right in front into a narrow stance with that lead foot. And now we're going to pivot on both feet, rotating around. Don't worry about the strikes yet, just pivot on both feet, on the balls of both feet. You can see what's happening here. Pivot all the way back, step back into square stance, work on that balance, keep the knees a little bit bent, keep that center of gravity even, chin tucked, right? Step in for that clinch, we're on the outside of their arms, step across their front foot and pivot on the ball of both feet. Boom, we're twisting all the way around, sink on those knees, rotate all the way back to square. Now we're gonna improve that a little bit. This time, as we spin around, we're gonna drop this hand into the pocket and sharpen up that elbow, right? Bring that elbow around, let's see where it lands. Step across that front foot, drop this arm into the pocket, twist around, boom. And there it is, elbow, spinning elbow to the side of the head, aiming for the temple with that sharp point. Rotate back, square up, keep it balanced. Keep that chin tucked. Step in for clinch. We're on the outside. Now I know what you're thinking. If you want to spin around from here, right? Once we step across, we're going to spin around. Their guard's still going to be high. We want to pull that guard down with that lead hand. So again, go for the elbow. As you turn in, go for the elbow and drive that arm down. You'll be pulling their guard down on the side you're about to strike. And then we're going to follow through. Pull the guard down, follow through. Bang, with the spinning elbow. Now defenseless enemy target. Rotate back, square up. When Roses Blossom, thanks for being here. We're going to step in for clinch. We're on the outside of the arms. We're going to step across with that front foot. We're about to pivot on both feet. Drag this arm down to drop the guard as you rotate through. Putting this arm against the chest for that nice pointy elbow. Let's do it. Rotate through. Boom. Sink on the knees a little bit for balance. And that will help you keep it balanced and square there. Step in for the clinch on the outside. Drag this arm down as this one comes in. Step across. Twist through. Boom. And there it is. Back to stance. Square up. Step in for the clinch. Across. Drag this arm down as this one comes in. Rotate through. Spinning backhand. Elbow to the face. Back to stance. Square up. Let's do it again. Step in for the clinch on the outside. Step across. Drop the guard on the lead side. Rotate into a spinning elbow. Back to stance. Square up. One more time. A little overtime out today. Step in for the clinch. We're blocked on the outside. Step across the body. Drop the guard. And rotate through for that spinning back fist elbow. Boom. Spinning reverse elbow to the face. And that is the end of our session. Practice at home. When you get a chance, give yourself a bonus round. If you didn't get that somatic release that you deserve today, if you didn't push to your skill level yet, or get that high intensity release, give yourself a bonus round. Give yourself what you deserve out there. Go to your level. It's all about you individualizing this self-care routine for yourself. If you have a bag at home, practice this stuff on the bag. It feels even better, right? Step into the clinch. You got that guard. You got that resistance. Step across. Guard comes down. Twist through. And you've got that nice smack, that nice feedback on the elbow to practice that strike at home. Oh, that was good. Felt great. I might give myself a bonus. I might not. I don't know. I'm going to see how I feel after breakfast. Until next time. Appreciate you guys and girls. Keep learning, keep growing, keep making progress, and keep track of that progress, because it will add up to more self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-validation, which is something no one can take away from you because you're the one who gave it to yourself. Catch you same sack time, same sack channel, same sack life. Sack man out.